Today's video, we'll go over the assembly, the operation, and the disassembly of your Vive power scooter. With your power scooter, you will find four main parts: the front section, the rear section, the seat unit, and the battery. Other supplemental components are included to help with operation and assembly. Those components are the charging cable, the seat pin, 2 armrests, 4 screw knobs, the battery platen, the basket bracket and screws, and the mesh basket. This is how you'll find the Vive mobility scooter as it comes out of the box. We'll cover the assembly, the adjustment of all the parts here. We'll start by attaching the basket plate. Basket plate you'll see here to these 2 screws. Now I've already loosened them, so these should just pull free. A few more turns here. You'll fit the basket plate here over these 2 bumps. Take the screws, run them back through, and tighten them down to secure. With the tiller plate installed, we'll now raise the tiller up, loosen the knob here, bring that up to a comfortable angle. You can set that to vertical, you can set that a little further down, just depending on where you end up adjusting the seat to, and then tighten the knob down securely. We'll now go about loading in the battery pack here onto the seat. You want to make sure that the battery fits into the tray here and that the contacts on the back of the battery fit down onto the contacts here on the rear section. You'll set that, drop that into place. You may need to fidget with it just to get it to seat properly, but once it does, you'll see it fits fairly flush. You'll then attach the battery platen with one of the screw knobs here. You'll fit it down over the battery to hold it in place like so. And let's turn that knob. So this will hold the battery in place when you're moving. If the battery ever does need to be lifted out, all you have to do is loosen this knob and rotate that plate out of the way to lift the battery back up. All right, I have the seat unit here. Just wanted to point out a few things on it before we fit it into the seat socket on the frame of the scooter. It will come with the silver seat post already attached to it. This is where you'll run the seat pin through. Now it fits on like so, but it's not being held down by the adjustment lever. In this mode, this will prevent the seat post from turning. So if you want to stay in one position while you're riding the scooter, you'll keep it there. To install it though, it's best to turn that a little bit so that the adjustment knob holds onto one of the cogs here on the bottom of the seat post. This will keep it to where the post won't accidentally fall off when you're setting it down into the socket on the scooter frame. We'll now fit the seat into place here. Fit the silver seat post down into the socket. Make sure that the holes align in the seat post and in the socket here. Take the seat pin, fit it through that hole in the side of the socket. Make sure it pops out the other side, and that's got the seat set to its desired height. If you need to, you can also adjust the orientation of the seat if it wasn't lined up when you installed it. With the seat installed here, the seat back can be folded up, and we'll use one of our screw knobs and fit into the screw hole here at the front of the column. Tighten this down. This will prevent the seat from wobbling at all. We'll now go ahead and install the armrests. I have one fitted in here just for reference. We'll fit the other armrest into the square socket down here. And the spot there, fit it in. Make sure the screw knobs are in place. And tighten that to be sure. The screw knobs can also be loosened and the armrest width can be adjusted. Just widen them out to the desired width and then retighten. All right, now finally, we will install the metal mesh basket onto the attachment plate up front. Just fit these two hooks underneath these two bars. Press down, and your scooter is assembled. This is the battery pack for the Vive 3-wheel power scooter. The battery pack is installed right now. What we'll do is cover the initial charge as well as maintenance and recharging. Your first step will be to pull aside the port cover to expose the overload protector button in the power port. You'll plug the wall charger into any standard 110 volt wall outlet. Plug the cord into the power port. The initial charge from flat battery will be about 10 to 12 hours. Once it's approaching roughly 90% power, the light on the wall charger will illuminate green. From there, leave the device plugged in for another hour or two just to make sure that the battery is fully topped off. And then disconnect the battery and the wall charger from the wall. With repeated use, the battery will condition, it will wear in. So after 3 or 4 full recharges, your battery will reach its optimum power level. If you're not using the scooter regularly, just as maintenance, recharge the battery fully every week to 2 weeks, and make sure to disconnect the power cord when not in use. So this is the tiller console for the Vive 3-wheel power scooter. At the top here, you'll find the battery indicator. These lights will illuminate to show you the power level. They'll also blink in sequence if there is an error with the scooter. The lights will blink a certain number of times, go blank, and then repeat that blink sequence. Those sequences can be referenced in your user manual to determine what the problem is and how to best troubleshoot it. Down below we have the key switch. Here is your speed adjustment dial. Left is slower, right is faster. Here is your horn switch, your headlight switch, and your drive lever. Pressing on the left side reverses the scooter. Pressing on the right side accelerates the scooter forward. I'm going to power the scooter up now. We're going to fit the key into the key switch. Make sure beforehand that the lever down below on the battery is not in manual mode. That is essentially neutral. You want to make sure that it's switched to drive mode. Fit the key down. You'll see the power is indicated here. We can adjust the speed, and again, pressing the left side of the drive lever reverses the scooter. Pressing the right side accelerates the scooter forward. Over time, the controls will become very intuitive and very easy to use with practice. To disassemble your Vive mobility scooter, start first by removing the key. Make sure the power is off before you remove anything else. Then we'll start to remove some of the components, starting with the basket. Just lift that straight up. Followed by the seat. Now the seat can be disconnected with the armrests on or off, doesn't really matter. Just start by loosening the screw knob here. Pull the seat pin and lift the seat free. You can either leave the pin in the silver seat column or run it through the socket there just to make sure it doesn't get misplaced. With the seat removed, we can now remove the battery and disconnect the front and rear sections of the frame. Start by loosening the battery holder plate here so that the battery can lift up and off of the scooter frame. Switch the motor over to the manual freewheel mode so that the rear wheels can roll independently. And then disconnect the battery connector cable from here. There's a little ring that you'll need to unscrew, and then the battery cable will pull free. Set that aside, lift the handle here, and hang on to the tiller to disconnect the front and rear sections. Tip the rear section back until it rests on that handle. Lift the hooks here, free of the pins on the rear section, and fold the tiller down using the adjustment knob at the base of the tiller. Retighten there. Your mobility scooter is disconnected and you're ready to go. To reconnect your Vive 3-wheel power scooter, start by moving the drive lever from drive mode to manual mode. This is freewheel, which disconnects the wheels from the motor, allowing the wheels to roll independently. You'll then tip the rear section back onto the grab bar and the anti-tip wheels, exposing these metal pins. These pins will be hooked by these hooks on the back of the front section. Hang on to the tiller to stabilize and lift the front section up. Bring it together to hook onto those hooks. Once those are in place, keep hold of the tiller, tip the rear section forward until it fastens back together with the latch in the center. Take the battery connection cable, plug that back in, and screw that down to secure. And engage drive mode again.